Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Up early again. My 15-year-old puppy is not doing great, so was up again early. So I had some more chance to read some good articles and thought I would share with you one I found from Barron's. Barron's put out an article over the weekend that I read about the seven markets, the seven real estate or housing markets that are most at risk from popping. And when I read that headline, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a good one. We're going to talk about it. First and foremost, I was very pleased with the article. It was highlighting markets from around the world. I know on this channel I get a little too focused on the US and probably too focused even on California. That's where my expertise is, that's where I live, so I apologize for that. But this article out of Barron's was very good. Again, it identified seven markets that were at risk of at least a 10% drop in value over the next 18 months. It also went on to talk about the 25 largest markets around the world, which we will also talk about. The first thing to take again is this was at least a 10% drop. I don't know about you, but does a 10% drop really feel like a bubble? I guess it does if it's a leveraged debt, right? If you borrow 95% but then lose 10%, you're upside down. I don't know though, historically speaking, when I think bubble or crash or collapse or any of those words, I don't really think 10% is, that's more like a deflation, right? It's more of a deep breath. But alas, let's talk about the markets. The first thing to note is only one of them was in North America. Let's see, one, two, three, four, five were in Europe, and one was in Asia. So one in Asia, one in North America, five were in Europe, which I thought was very interesting. So the folks that watch this channel, which is growing around the world, that are watching in Europe, I would love to hear from you. Once we go through this list, what you think of the cities, which ones do you see as most risk? I've actually been to all seven of these cities, have I? Yes, I've been to all seven of these cities. They're wonderful. So number one, and we're going to go top down, Frankfurt. Frankfurt, Germany was the city at most risk of a collapse. Munich was next. Toronto, that's the one North American city. Toronto, Canada, obviously. Hong Kong, interesting stuff going on in Hong Kong. Paris, Amsterdam, and Zurich. You know, again, no real experience investing in Europe, but I do think it was odd. It was really interesting that New York, LA didn't make the cut. That just goes to show that really our mortgage market is very different than the rest of the world. If you don't know, a lot of the world doesn't have 30-year fixed rate money. For example, I know the folks in Canada typically have 5 to 7 years fixed, and they're usually 25-year amortization schedules. So again, the U.S. is more affordable, right? Interest rates have gone down from the last bubble at roughly 6.5 now to some people are getting 2.5. It just makes it more affordable, even though prices are up, affordability is down. But yeah, again, the seven most at-risk markets from popping or a bubble are Frankfurt, Munich, Toronto, Hong Kong, Paris, Amsterdam, and Zurich. And this again is according to Barron's. Digging into the article a little bit more, because I was like, where is North America? The article went on to look at the 25 largest markets that are overvalued. So not necessarily a bubble, but overvalued. And there we did find three markets. And thankfully, they are the three that I have been warning you about, the ones that are most at risk from this kind of urban flight and all this stuff that is going on at the same time. It is in order: New York, San Francisco, LA. So two on the West Coast, one on the East Coast. They're frankly the three you would think of. Interestingly enough, they did highlight one major city in the US that was actually undervalued, and it was Chicago. I've heard from some folks watching this channel that Chicago's overpriced. There's a big exodus because of the tax structure. But again, according to Barron's, it was the one city in major city in the U.S. that was undervalued. I thought that was interesting. So in the end, let me know what you think. Again, you could find this in Barron's. I did see it today on Barron's.com. The housing bubble, risk of a 10% drop, 7 major cities, and then it goes on to talk about overvalued. And there we have 3 in the U.S., LA, San Francisco, and New York. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. We will be doing our daily financial news still at 7:30. That's the time I try to put it out there because lots of people tune in for that. So that will happen at 7:30. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.